Your parents raised a textbook overachiever who physically chokes on the idea of failure, or they raised a professional ghost who disappears the second an emotional conversation starts. There is no in between. If your childhood bedroom felt less like a sanctuary and more like a high-stakes corporate interview, where the prize was basic affection, then your emotional blueprint is officially unhinged. You are not just picky with your friends, you are running a background check on people who breathe too close to you, because your brain convinced you that love is a limited-time offer that requires a subscription fee. Let us skip the 2-minute therapy intro, where I pretend to care about your inner child while playing soft piano music. 1. The overachievement trap. First, you became a hyperproductive monster. When a child learns that they are only noticed when they bring home a perfect report card, a trophy, or some external validation, their brain wires love directly to labor. You do not know how to sit on a couch and just exist without feeling an overwhelming wave of existential guilt. If you are not actively optimizing your life, learning a third language, or fixing a broken appliance at 2 in the morning, you feel like an absolute waste of space. This is not a work ethic. This is a trauma response disguised as a LinkedIn profile. You are terrified that if you stop moving, the people around you will realize you have no inherent value. You are performing for an audience that left the theater 15 years ago. Your boss loves you because you do the work of 3 people for the price of 1, but your nervous system is screaming because you treat every minor email typo like a federal crime. Second point is the human lie detector. You developed an involuntary degree in micro-expressions. Children who grow up in unpredictable environments where love is conditional become absolute masters at reading the room. You can tell the exact mood of your partner by the specific velocity at which they close the front door. If the footsteps in the hallway sound a fraction of a decibel heavier than usual, your internal alarm system goes into red alert. You spend 80% of your mental energy analyzing the subtext of a 3-word text message. You think you are intuitive, but the reality is just that your childhood forced you to become a hostage negotiator in your own living room. You are so busy scanning for threats that you cannot even enjoy a peaceful moment because peace feels like the quiet part of a horror movie right before the monster jumps out of the closet. 3. The boundary vacuum. Your boundaries are either completely non-existent or they look like the Berlin Wall. There is absolutely no middle ground here. Either you let people walk all over your dignity because you are terrified that saying no will make them pack their bags and leave, or you cut people off permanently because they use the wrong tone of voice when asking you to pass the salt. When you are not loved properly, you never learn how to negotiate conflict. You think a disagreement is a death sentence for a relationship. So, you either become a professional people pleaser who agrees to help move a couch for an acquaintance you secretly despise, or you become an emotional fortress where nobody can get within 500 feet of your actual feelings. Both options are exhausting, and both options keep you profoundly isolated. 4. The chronic independence illusion. You are aggressively and almost violently independent. Your favorite thing is taking pride in the fact that you can do it yourself, and you say it while being upset sometimes. Asking for help feels like pulling your own teeth without anesthesia. To your brain, asking for help means you are weak, vulnerable, and giving someone else the ammunition to disappoint you later. You will literally carry 7 bags of groceries up 3 flights of stairs, losing circulation in all 10 fingers before you ask your partner to open the door for you. You view reliance on others as a trap. The tragedy here is that your fierce independence is not actually strength. It is just a shield you built because the people who were supposed to hold your hand when you were small were too busy, too distracted, or too emotionally bankrupt to show up. 5. The emotional allergy. Genuine affection makes you incredibly uncomfortable. When someone treats you with consistent, unconditional kindness, your brain does not feel safe. It smells a scam. You immediately start looking for the hidden camera or the fine print in the contract because you are convinced that nobody does anything nice without an ulterior motive. You are entirely accustomed to chaos, rejection, and breadcrumbs of affection. When someone hands you a full meal of respect and stability, you literally do not know how to digest it. You will actively self-sabotage a perfectly healthy relationship just to get back to the familiar discomfort of being abandoned. You would rather be miserable in a way you can predict than happy in a way that feels out of your control. 6. The constant apology symphony. You apologize for your literal existence. You say sorry when someone bumps into you. You say sorry when it rains. You say sorry for asking a question in a meeting that you are being paid to participate in. This happens because you were conditioned to believe that your needs are an inconvenience to the world. You were taught that taking up space, having an opinion, or requiring basic attention is a burden on the people around you. So you spend your adulthood trying to be as small and invisible as possible, walking on eggshells that you laid down yourself. You are constantly anticipating anger from others, so you preemptively apologize to disarm them before they can strike. 7. The storage room of self-doubt. Your internal monologue sounds like a mean high school bully who has access to all your deepest insecurities. When you make a mistake, you do not just think you did a bad thing, you think you are a bad person. The lack of warmth in your early years means you never developed that internal compassionate voice that tells you everything is going to be fine. Instead, you have a relentless critic that dissects every decision you make. You can get 100 compliments on a project, but you will stay awake until 4 a.m., obsessing over the one person who gave you a lukewarm look. You are constantly waiting for the other shoe to drop, convinced that your entire life is just a house of cards that a single gust of wind will destroy. The worst part of all of this is that you think you are broken, but you are actually working exactly how you were designed to work. You built these survival mechanisms because they kept you alive when you were defenseless. The hyper-independence, the overachieving, the obsession with reading the room, they were your armor. But you are not in that war anymore. You are an adult now, and you can change the locks on the doors. You do not have to keep paying for a lease on a trauma package that you never ordered in the first place. Stop trying to earn your right to exist. You are already here, so you might as well start taking up space without asking for permission. You can change this, but first realizing your armor doesn't have to be your cage. You are already a master at reading rooms. Stop using that superpower to scan for threats and start using it to read people's true needs, and become an incredibly empathetic leader or an elite communicator. Stop using the hyperproductivity to buy love from people who don't care, and channel that insane work ethic strictly into your own creative empires and digital assets. Your fierce independence means you are uniquely equipped to thrive in the modern economy without needing a safety net, but true strength is choosing when to lower the shield. Repurpose these survival tactics. You aren't broken, you are highly optimized. Stop performing for an empty childhood theater and start running the boardroom of your own life. You built the system, which means you have the master key to rewrite the code. The comment of the day goes to Lee Mouse, and it reads, "Absolutely love your candor. Thanks, man. My brain doesn't believe in filters."